Now when you played WWE games on the more powerful consoles, you must have thought that you had the complete experience of that game. Whilst it's true that these versions of the game were the definitive experience, there were some things that those weaker versions of the game got that didn't make it into the release of the more powerful version of that WWE game. Here's a look back at the exclusive features in weaker versions of WWE games. In the Wii version of Smackdown vs Raw 2009, there were a bunch of things that you could do in that version of the game that you couldn't do in any other version. When you would enter towards the ring, you could interact with the entrance and do a bunch of different motions before finally getting into the ring. This was also the only version of Smackdown vs Raw 2009 to have a post-match breakout system, a feature that we wouldn't see again until WWE 2K16. I would even say that the breakout feature in Smackdown vs Raw 2009 is better than the one that we currently have in WWE 2K games, as there is so much more to do. You can pick them up and go for a handshake, or you can fake the handshake and beat down your opponent. There was also exclusive breakout moves like going coast to coast with the chairs. This was a great feature that I really wish was in the PS3 and Xbox 360 versions of the game. There was also a secret object during Extreme Rules matches, and that was thumbtacks. And this was the only time they've ever been in the main series. Now sure, they were in Legends of WrestleMania, but they never made it to the actual main series games. This again was another great little extra for those playing the Wii version of SmackDown vs Raw 2009. In WWE 2K15 on the PS3 and Xbox 360, there was a mode that was not included in the PS4 and Xbox One versions of the game. The mode was called Who Got NXT. This was included because the PS3 and Xbox 360 versions of the game did not include a My Career mode. Who Got NXT is similar to the 2K showcases. There's 5 NXT superstars to play as, and you go through a series of 4 matches with objectives to complete. Once you've completed all the matches of the 5 NXT superstars, you will unlock an additional bonus mode called Proving Ground. This mode is very similar to Defeat the Streak in WWE 2K14, only this time it's only those 5 NXT superstars to choose from, and it is against John Cena. The concept is similar however. You stare down and shake hands with John Cena before the bell rings, and then you have a very difficult match against John Cena. The only thing really different is that you only have 30 minutes to complete this match, compared to the unlimited time against The Undertaker. This was a fun little extra mode. I wouldn't say it's comparable to getting a full My Career mode, but it was good enough. It is better than having nothing at all extra really. Smackdown vs Raw 2010 on the Nintendo DS had 2 great features that were exclusive to only that version of the game. There was no Road to WrestleMania mode, but there was a career mode with a full story that included free roaming and choices. The career mode was great, and if you've never had a chance to play it, then I recommend giving it a playthrough. There was also the inclusion of the ambulance match, which has never been in any other WWE game ever. The match is pretty simple. There's an ambulance on the ramp, throw the superstar towards the doors and press the buttons to throw them inside of the ambulance. Another great exclusive feature to have for owning the technically weaker version of SmackDown vs Raw 2010. SmackDown vs Raw 2006 was the first time that the main series expanded to 2 versions of the game being released. It was released for the PS2 as usual, and for the first time ever it was released on the PSP. Now the PSP, due to limitations, could not have commentary during the matches, so instead music from the menu was played during the match, similar to the days of Here Comes the Pain, Day of Reckoning and Raw 2. Because the PSP had to miss out on some features, an arcade mode was added exclusively to the PSP version. This included a WWE version of Texas Hold'em, Eugenes Aeroplane Race and a WWE Game Show. The Texas Hold'em mode is actually what it says it is. It's WWE superstars playing poker. You could even choose NPCs like JR or Michael Cole to be one of the people playing. This was a fun extra mode to play. I really enjoyed the wackiness of seeing The Undertaker playing poker with JR, and also being able to react in different ways. This was a solid extra for PSP players. Now Eugene's Airplane Race on the other hand, not so great. It's just a mini game of Eugene pretending to be an airplane, and you just have to keep in balance whilst avoiding objects on the floor like chairs. Who thought this was a good idea? And the last PSP exclusive mode was the WWE Game Show. Some of these questions are awful however, like being asked which arena is this, with the arena name being right there to see, or asking whose crowd sign is this, with the superstar's name on the sign. That doesn't really make sense. So yeah, the poker mode was cool, the other 2, not so great. And lastly, in the 3DS version of WWE All-Stars, there's 2 additional modes added to this version of the game. The 3DS version did not release with all other versions of the game in March 2011, The game actually got released in November 2011. The later release date meant that they had to give extra to those waiting for the 3DS version. And they got it with these 2 additional modes. Gauntlet, which plays exactly how they've done in the other WWE games before. You beat an opponent, another one enters the ring, and so on. The other mode is called Score Scramble. Now in Score Scramble, you have a match on a timer, and the objective is to do as many crazy moves and combos as you possibly can to build up your final scores, and try to stop the other opponent from getting a higher score than you have once the time is up. The winner is the one who has the highest score at the end of the time. This is quite a unique type of match or mode that I don't think has been in any other kind of WWE game before. Overall, these are 2 good additions to a great version of the game that only really felt weaker in the visuals department. So that was a look back at the exclusive features in weaker versions of WWE games. Which extra mode or feature did you like the most? Let me know in the comments. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe with those notifications turned on, and I'll see you all in the next video.